Hello, everybody. You join us once again here on this magnificent Tuesday towards the end of May. We're getting towards the halfway checkpoints. Imagine you were playing Super Mario World and you were a small little Mario and you got to the checkpoint where there's kind of a high jump icon thing and it turns you into a big Super Mario. Has that happened for your channel this year in 2024? That was a weird video game analogy to take us into this live stream, and there'll be a lot more to come. But yes, you are in the right place. We're not just going to talk about Super Mario World from the early 90s. This is a channel audit live stream for your YouTube channels where you get a little vulnerable and you've been stressing about your channel for weeks, months, possibly even years, figuring out, what am I doing wrong? Why is my channel not growing? Well, we are here to help guide, encourage, motivate, and inspire you on the next step of your YouTube journey through the power and medium of channel reviews / channel audits. I am your host, Rob. I will be here for the next couple of hours, guiding you through the channels we have not only selected, but the random channels that we picked later on, along with all of your fantastic YouTube questions via Super Chats. But I cannot do this without a fantastic co-host. He is my continual wingman here on this channel auditing journey, and I am not going to push him this week with the Jurassic Park Have You Finally Watched It campaign. We're going to put that to side for 1 week, but it will return later on this year. But for now, Dan, welcome back. How are you feeling? What's going on?
Yeah, better now.
Great, that's awesome to hear. You're so excited and energized when you join us for these live streams. It's almost as if you've been like put into hibernate mode for the last week, and then I've got to turn you on and get you ready to go. Probably like our guest who will join us in about an hour's time, who's just woken up at the time. Likely, we'll have to see.
How is everybody? Welcome. We are once again excited to see you. I have a poll that I'm very curious to see what happens to here in the live stream. I'm asking everybody how much TV they watch, and I'm specifying not YouTube, but apps like Netflix. Basically, how much content do you watch that is not generated by regular, everyday people? And I'm very interested because I've been interacting with live streams outside of vidIQ, and I've noticed how many like very simple TV references go over people's heads, and they're like, "I don't watch TV."
I see. Yeah,
it's just like it just speaks to how much entertainment has like shifted and how little people watch in terms of like just modern television. And I'm also kind of interested to see that right now it's basically split down the middle. 32% say a good amount, 38% say not very much, and 30% say basically none, which is a pretty large subset of you that watch like no TV at all. But you're here watching YouTube. You're YouTubers. You spend a lot of time on YouTube. You're watching this live stream, so you watch live streams a lot. But yeah, that's just really interesting. It's something to keep in mind as you make content for people. Like people actually sit down and watch this in place of having a Netflix subscription. It's pretty cool.
So it's a bit like,
I love inside jokes. Love to be a part of one.
Oh, we can't hear it.
Oh,
it's so quiet. It's there, but it's like really.
You heard it, but you couldn't hear. You heard it, but you couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Well, it was Mike from The Office saying, "I love inside jokes. Hope to be a part of one someday." And maybe you have seen that, maybe you haven't, but you couldn't hear it anyway. I'm always nervous, Dan, the first time I press one of my sound effect buttons, each and every week, like, is it going to work or not? And
it lagged, and it was really quiet.
There we go. Right. Well, right. I guess I'm going to have to finish. Right. Hang on. Let me hit you with some of this.
I love inside jokes. Love to be a part of one someday.
You heard that, right?
Yeah, a bit better. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you hear this?
I can, and it's not just going to be 2 hours of Dan and myself testing whether or not various sound effects work.
This is what we do.
Or maybe it will be. Maybe it will be. But what we always do at the beginning of every single live stream is welcome you in. If you are new here, then thank you for joining us for the very first time. Let us know what type of channel you are and how many subscribers you've got. People who've been here many, many times before, do welcome those people in. And of course, we do have to explain how this live stream works, just in case you're not familiar with it. And really do pay attention, because there's important pointers in this tutorial that we always get asked, sometimes with a super chat later on. So watch very, very carefully to this. Welcome back, creator. Here we go again. This is your weekly YouTube channel audit live stream. All you need to do is use the correct link in the description, fill out the form, and we'll consider your channel for review. That's right, channel reviews are free, but you can send us a super chat and watch us discuss your question live on air. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We will share with you our knowledge, experience, and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to do a quick shout out to all of our moderators who do an awesome job on the live stream every single week. You know who you are. And with the introductions done, it's over to you. What channels have you brought us this week? Okay, final bits of housekeeping before we start auditing your channels. We mentioned briefly earlier, super chats. We encourage them for conversation. So if you have a question about YouTube in general, try not to keep it very specific for your channel because we won't be auditing your channel as part of a question. And we'll try and ask it in the sense of other people watching this live stream thinking, yeah, that's a good question. I want to know the answer to that. Do send them in. We also have memberships. If you want to get busy with the emotes and a few extra perks that we're starting to add. Like, did you know that a video that we recently released on the channel was released 24 hours earlier for our members, and 20% of us members actually watched that video and commented on it 24 hours before anyone else, which was incredible. So stay tuned for more perks. We're not sure what we're going to do with it long term, but if you want to get involved, I highly recommend that you sign up now because it is as cheap as we can make it right now, $2. And finally, just before we go live, you may or may not be familiar with this screen. This is the vidIQ web app, and it has tons of great tools like optimizing your latest video, getting daily video ideas, generate an entirely new video from scratch, doing keyword research, etc., etc. You can sign up now and get all of these tools to help research your next YouTube video. But I want to focus on the free stuff this week. And it is very simply this trophy icon up here, which shows us, Dan, that we had an incredible December last year when we had nearly 5.5 million views, which was fantastic. And we also had this time last year, in fact, almost exactly this time last year, we got 1.5 million subscribers.
Wow.
That's awesome. Amazing. And like, we might want to celebrate that, or we will have celebrated that at the time. And all we would have to do is click the share button and then stick it on social media. And that is what I'm encouraging you to do right now via the social media platform of Twitter. We have, Dan's not a big fan of Twitter or X or Twix, whatever you want to call it. We have this semi-ongoing hashtag, and I'm going to highlight up here. It's called hashtag vidIQ milestone. What I want you to do is share your latest YouTube achievements via vidIQ's certificates, and we'll shout them out later on. That's what I'm kind of committing to doing right now. Like, people a couple of days ago were celebrating 13,000 views, and this person celebrated 1,000 subscribers on May the 24th. Like, amazing. But we want to know, for the people who are watching this live stream right now, what have you achieved in the last couple of weeks or months? Share those milestones, and we'll update this screen in around about half an hour to an hour's time and do some of those shout outs. So there's a link in the description if you haven't got vidIQ already to download it completely for free, connect it to your channel, and start celebrating these milestones. You may be wondering where we are on our journey to 2 million. If I can find my foot pedal, and it's not working as usual. I think I'm just going to have to abandon that part of it. But I'm going to look over and tell you that we're at 1,862,280 subscribers. And we have a mission to reach 2 million subscribers by the end of the year, which it is razor thin at the moment. We're getting around.
I don't believe you.
We're getting around about 20 to 25,000 subscribers per month. So if you do the math to the end of the year, that's going to be very close.
We got to see it to believe it, Rob. We don't believe you. We have to see the number.
Right, hang on. There, can you see it now?
Kinda.
It's kind of not really working, that is it? It is there.
Yeah.
Believe you me, it's 1.8 million subscribers, something like that. Anyway, now I've completely broken my camera. Is it going to come back to me? Yes, it is. Kind of. I shouldn't really be manually adjusting this camera. You're supposed to do it on the devices. Anyway, where was it? I've got completely discombobulated now. I need to switch this, switch that. I'm good. I'm all good. We're nearly at 2 million subscribers. We want to beat the Ford Motor Company at some point in the future. We're still about 500,000 subscribers away. But anyway, I've been rambling a lot. And you probably just want channel audits at this point. Dan, nod your head. Nod your head. Dan
I like our conversations.
Dan doesn't want any channel audits, but I think it's time we gave you some channel audits. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring to you the channel that submitted first on the forums this week. And they go by the name of LightBread. They have 273 subscribers. They have posted 200 videos. What I find interesting about this channel, Dan, is that they say in their about section that maybe they haven't updated since they first started on YouTube. I'm still trying to figure out this channel will be mainly based off of whatever. And when you start to look at the videos themselves, I feel that vibe still to this point in the channel's journey, even though they have made nearly 200 videos. So what are your first impressions on where this channel currently is and where might we be able to help them the most and the easiest?
So currently it looks like they're trying a lot of stuff. And when you're new on YouTube, I'm going to preface everything I'm saying right now with, you should try a lot of stuff. You should figure out what you enjoy making the most. Focus more on what you enjoy rather than what's going to get more views, right? And that's like something a lot of us, even myself, I struggle with, right? Because yes, there are things I enjoy, but if they're not getting views, it's hard to want to make them. But it's about finding something you enjoy and then saying, okay, now how can I put this into a YouTube-shaped box so that other people enjoy now what I'm making? And that's where the strategy comes in. That's why we do these things. So the reason I bring up that basically focus topic is because I'm not seeing a ton of focus here, but there are some consistencies. For example, It does seem like they're doing some challenges, right?
Right. Yeah.
Basketball game, but I don't suck. I played against a 6-year-old. But then it also seems they're doing some random stuff. There's no slapping in this video. 30 seconds long, just something funny they did, I guess. But then it looks like they're doing some commentary stuff. You need to stop tipping, for example. YouTube Shorts equals more subs. I love this kid's name. Like, those are kind of a few different things we're noticing just in these videos right here, right? So just everything on this page is a bit messy. Five Guys Massacre could be a commentary or a challenge. It's kind of hard to say because there's a lot of commentary about how expensive Five Guys is right now. Anyway, I think you really do want to pick a lane here. You need a through line for your content. You can do commentary videos about tipping and Five Guys and all sorts of stuff. You can talk about just news things going on and do your opinions on them. And that makes you a commentary channel. And that's like one through line. It's this person giving their opinion consistently about any topic. You know, it's just, I like this person's takes, so I'm going to watch. Or you could do challenges where you're playing basketball against a 6-year-old or whatever it might be. And that's a through line. This person does funny challenges, funny sports challenges, whatever. But right now, we're just not really seeing that choice being made. And if they're not ready to make that choice, I think they should continue doing what they're doing and just do fun stuff until you find something you really, really like. But focusing up a little bit is going to help this channel tremendously in the long run.
So they've been on YouTube for at least 5 years. Let's just check the oldest. 6 years. They had a bit of a run 5 years ago with the famous crab tune. And that was their through line for a very short period of time. But yeah, Dan, as you say, there's a splash of everything almost, isn't there? Challenges, basketball, food, restaurant commentary reviews. Should you buy this microphone? That's deep into the tech world. Yeah. Just because you've bought this microphone and are using it for your videos doesn't necessarily mean that your audience needs to know what it is and how to use it, because they might not be interested in it. It improves the quality of the content, but it is not a source of value for the audience. And this far into the journey, I think the creator needs to make that tough choice, don't they? So what of it, like I think there's two questions this creator should ask themselves and write this down or type this out, or note this down on the phone. So Dan, if you were to ask this creator one question and they need to answer, and then I'll ask them a question, what would be the question that you were going to ask the creator to help them define the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, what is it you enjoy making the most?
Okay.
That it's as simple as that, and then branching out from there in terms of strategy.
So this would be in terms of like topic, formats, style, or like all three.
Yeah, pretty much all
that a little
three.
bit more.
Let's just say they've put all their interests right in front of us, right? You saw the tech video I missed. So like tech videos, challenges, memes, all these different things they've done. Let's say that's every interest already represented on their channel. Which one of those things did you like making the most? Don't worry about the views. Put the views out of your mind, because we can talk about thumbnails and titles in a bit if you want. But like, which one of those things did you enjoy making the most?
Yeah. Okay. And then my question would be, now that you've picked the type of videos that you love to make and are passionate about, who should be watching those videos? So this is you creating a ideal viewer for your content, whether they are a 40-year-old male who has a postgraduate education and $60,000 a year and is in the finance sector, or they are a athletic person who is under the age of 20 and they're wanting to improve their basketball skills, and they're going to learn it through like constant dedication to a craft. Now, specifically, I talked about a person or an audience that definitely isn't you, but then I started to paint a picture more like of somebody who may be interested in your content. But you'll be able to narrow down and drill down into that typical viewer a little bit better than I can. And Dan, I think we should leave it there. I think channel focus. Let's not worry about anything else right now. Yeah. Channel focus, and stop making as many videos as they're making right now, which is they've made like 4 videos in the last 12 days, and each one of them is on a completely different topic.
Yeah.
Maybe go down to 2 videos in that same time period on a same topic for the same target audience, and we'll leave it there.
I completely agree.
All right. Okay. And it's very basic advice here, but you are a channel that has been on YouTube for 5+ years with nearly 200 videos, and you're stuck in neutral for a clear reason, which we believe is channel focus. And with that, Dan, I present to you a gaming channel, which on the flip side has a very clear channel focus that you can identify within 5 seconds and know whether or not you're in the right place. And that is Pokemon. Now, I would say, not for me. I would move on. That's cool. Dan, on the other hand, as maybe a fan of Pokemon, all right, tickle me interested. What type of videos do they have? And with just shy of 100 videos and just shy of 1,000 subscribers as well, we're probably going to hit that very, very soon. First impressions, Dan, what are we looking at?
Looking at some strong thumbnails and looking at some strong topic choice. How fast can you catch every shiny starter Pokemon? They did that a couple times, getting some decent views. One outlier there on the right on this channel. Our outlier tool is saying that that did very well for you. And it looks like
this little thing here, by the way, just tells you that this video is performing 4 times better than average. This one 8 times better than average. Free tool again, if you want to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and it looks like they did that for a while. And what's very interesting is that now they found a new format with this latest video, Pokemon Violet, but a wheel besides my shiny team. So you've taken one format and you kind of did it for a bit and it had some success. And then you decided, I'm going to try something new, which is always a risk, and it paid off. And you got double the views on that new topic. And that, I just want to help with everybody here. Like, I just want to help you guys if you need permission. Like, that's a really good sign that like they understand their audience. You know, they got this. They're doing this shiny only wheel spin thing. The second time they did it, it didn't work out too good. They did like a part 2. However, I guess, well, okay, hold on. I do want to pick apart the titles a little bit, but they did part 2. It didn't pay off as well. Perhaps sticking to the series is okay, because people will watch part 2 and go, oh, where did this start? Where did this whole thing start? And they'll go back to part 1 and then they'll continue. They'll go from there. That can happen. So part 1 will always be better than part 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're doing a serial Let's Play. What doesn't make sense to me, though, just to really zoom in on those 2 videos, is that the first one sounds like Pokemon Violet, but a wheel spin determines my shiny team. That sounds like a one-off. Because once you have your shiny team, that's it. Like the video ends, right? Like, or you get to like, maybe you play a little bit and you see how they do. Okay. But the fact that you did a part 2 makes me start to ask questions like, is this a new shiny team? Is this a continuation of the first video? You said part 2. So like, there's one team at a time can only have 6 Pokemon in it. I get that you can have more and maybe you swap them out or whatever, but that's a little confusing to me. And so maybe the audience also felt confused, where they're like, we already saw this, and they possibly didn't watch part 2 because it just looked like the same video. So be careful with that. Like, think about how, if this is a series, maybe there's a different way to title it so that, you know, maybe you're trying to beat the game with only shinies or whatever. Like, do some more title research and try and figure out how we can sew those together a little bit better, because I think the second video missed in the sense that I thought the story was done. I didn't realize a part 2 was coming.
With these previous ones with the timer in the top right hand corner, they didn't use the part number. They used, is it a different Pokemon like Polar Biomine and Canyon Biome? I don't, a word I'm saying, I don't even understand what it means, but they're not using part numbers essentially.
Yeah, they did like speed runs for each starter basically.
Okay.
Which is very interesting. Probably maybe that occurred over a live stream and you edited the video down, which is a lot of effort, really awesome. That makes sense. But yeah, we're missing that element in the new series they're kind of starting. The first one worked really well, but we're missing the thing that makes me want to watch part 2, I guess. And that's okay. I would just, you know, if I'm confused, other viewers might be confused. That's all. Overall, though, this is a very strong channel. I love their dedication. I love their focus, and I love that they're experimenting and trying things. So this is excellent, and I do encourage them to keep trying new things. The Pokemon is such a versatile game. Like, there's so many different types of challenges you can do in it, and you should be able to succeed like for a long time. I think this is awesome. I don't know. What do you think?
I was just looking at their history a bit to see, because I look at the most recent thumbnails and format and I think, wow, they've hit on some consistency here. And then I look further down and I'm thinking, yeah, maybe that's why there was kind of a lack of consistency in the thumbnails and each of the titles, and formats are perhaps are very different. But then I got down as far as here, and they had some outliers like a year ago, Dan. And like, they were probably thinking at this point, oh, this is my start. This is the traction I needed for my channel to grow, and it just kind of stunted. And again, these recent videos are just starting to pick up a bit of traction. So I was curious to maybe ask you on the concept of, do you think they're maybe going through formats and challenges too quickly? They did like 3 on the speed runs, and now they've done 2 on the shiny teams so far. What do you think? Stick to their guns a little bit more rather than changing ideas so frequently? I'm just spitballing here. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong answer here.
I don't know. That might be overthinking it for them. It just kind of depends, I suppose, on, because we're not watching the videos, so we don't know what the vibe is. We don't know if like it works for them and their channel to kind of flip flop between like different formats. I've seen a lot of channels do that, and they're successful. But yeah, if you find something that works really well, you could just do it to death for a while. But I've seen a lot of channels kind of like take breaks from things that work really well to try new things, and we do that all the time. So yeah, I think they can keep doing kind of what they're doing, but keep testing things. Like, for example, is Power World actually copying Pokemon? That was a conversation months ago that was being just done to death. Everybody was talking about that, and for them, maybe they missed the trend a little bit. I can't remember exactly when that was happening, but 187 views just did not work. And it does seem like it's pretty outside what their audience liked. And so they tried that. I encouraged them to try things, and it didn't work out super well. So they abandoned it, you know, and that's also good.
Dabbling with shorts. Looks as if we've been practicing the same template or format over and over again.
Yeah.
Rob, with that, with shorts, there's that kind of addictive personality to shorts sometimes, when a viewer watches a video one day and then they are watching shorts the next day, and then if you're on a daily basis, they'll just say, oh, here's another one of these, and a Pokemon sandwich. I can't comprehend what's that's about, but fair enough.
Yeah,
and
I talked about that last week too. Cook Show with Trevor is a shorts channel I got really addicted to because of that repeatable format, and it's cool to see that working for them in the gaming space.
There's no point in talking about the thumbnails, Dan, because they're pretty much flawless, I would say, like almost perfect. These last 3 or 4, at least, anyway. Would you agree?
Yeah, they're very, very well done. I love the use of like a more customized art style. working really well. Still
Mhm.
recognizable characters, but just
Yeah.
done in like a different style. So this is like, yeah, props all around. It's the reason I kind of lingered on a lot of these points is because when I see a channel that's just doing this well, it's a bit harder to like give
Sure.
feedback because they're challenging us. A lot of people are like, oh, you guys give a lot of the same feedback. People make a lot of the same mistakes. This channel is kind of past that point, which is excellent.
And pre-congratulations, itsPoachie, on the 1,000 subscribers that you'll hopefully hit in the next, I'd say, month at the cadence you're working at.
Oh, yeah.
Dan, let's do a little bit of self-indulgent gaming corner. Let us know, folks, what game you're playing right now and give it a ranking out of 10. Not the YouTube ranking out of 10. It's 10 out of 10 is amazing, best game you've ever played. 1 out of 10 is Zelda Breath of the Wild. If you're not into gaming, then do let us know what hobby you've been enjoying to take you out of the YouTube grind and something to just later decompress. I was going to say decompose them, but no, you want to decompress from content creation. So Dan,
I guess it depends. Yeah, so I love talking about this stuff for a minute because it just taking a break and doing something completely unrelated to YouTube is how you kind of refill that creative bucket. And so for me, it's been Diablo. The Diablo 4 update that came out just completely made the game playable, which is great because I was playing it for a little bit and I got bored very quickly. And so I didn't know how this update was going to go, but I've been spending way too much time. Basically all weekend was that.
Great to see somebody else playing Ghost of Tsushima. I wonder if anybody actually takes our gaming recommendations, because that's what I've been playing for the last few weeks. But I am worried that a lot of people are just saying every game that they play is a 10 of 10. Like, it doesn't give you very far to go. If you think Beat Saber is a 10 of 10, that worries me a little bit. It's good, but it's not like the best gaming experience ever. Dan, if you want to keep clicking on some games and other hobbies, if you remember rightly, I think I said my PSN network subscription was expiring, so I needed to find some quick games to play. One of them was Resident Evil 2, which I blasted through, finished Leon's story, and then I thought Claire Redfield's story would be different, but apparently it's exactly the same apart from some subtle differences. So I've moved on to Infamous Second Son. It's like a bit of a random game to play, but the reason I'm playing it is because it said it would take around 10 hours to beat, and it's from the same developers of Ghost of Tsushima, and it's enjoyable. It's all right. I would say it's similar to Crackdown, if anyone's ever played that from the Xbox. There's a few versions of Crackdown that got progressively worse, and Crackdown is similar to Saints Row, if you've ever played that. And it's enjoyable. I'm working through it. But, Dan, the one thing that I've been enjoying in hobby-wise is, I don't know if anybody's noticed yet, but what have we got here?
What?
Did anybody notice this?
It blends in with your background too much.
So let me bring it over.
Oh, it looks heavy.
So I've got my hands on a 3D printer. Oh, which means that I can print as many YouTube logos as possible to infuriate my wife, who thinks all of these are very tacky and are going to be horrible. So Sarah, I love you, but I'm printing more of these as we speak. So yeah, I managed to do one in a vidIQ blue, but any recommendations, like safe for work recommendations, let me know in the comments what I might print out, YouTube related stuff. I'm thinking, Dan, of doing like maybe 16 of these in different colors and then having a wall of these as like a background. That sounds like a cool idea.
That'd be cool.
In my head.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to think about that. Anyway, that's what I've been doing with my time away from YouTube, which is printing YouTube props, which sounds like I need better hobbies outside of work. But anyway, thanks for allowing me to indulge in my pastimes and hobbies, and I'm sure you'll enjoy yours in the comments. But we will audit another channel now, Dan, and that channel goes by the name of Jimmy Talks Tech. So with 100 subscribers, but just 10 videos, so I would say that's cause for celebration. Great landmark from such a small amount of videos. Introduce us to this channel.
Yeah, I picked this one because I was like really encouraged by what I was seeing. I wanted to engage with Rob on this and took his headphones off. You'll notice that there's only 4 long form videos, so that means they're also doing some shorts. But yeah, the reason I picked this channel was because they kind of have gone against the grain with some of their like thumbnails, right? And yet it's working for them. And I think it's working because I'm noticing more of these collage style thumbnails where there's some text, it's kind of small, and they kind of paste a few different like things on it, right? You see this a lot in commentary channels. Like the commentator will be in the middle, and then there'll be like a couple bits of text, and whatever headlines or TikToks they're talking about are behind them in like a collage style. And so I wanted to say, oh, you need better thumbnails, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case here, because these thumbnails, I mean, you got 1,000 views. It was 4 months ago. But I mean, that's pretty encouraging. So Jimmy Talks Tech, as you saw on the other page, and I guess here as well, there's certain tech videos that are doing better than other tech videos. And I think the direction for Jimmy is being chosen for them. So for example, the, okay, yeah.
I want to know what this is. You only live once box. That sounds like a terrifying piece of tech to try, but okay.
So it's a streaming device.
What is it? A streaming device. Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like some kind of scene switcher or something. That's a fully touch screen, which makes it very customizable, I imagine.
Ooh.
Easy multicam live streaming switching setup.
These look cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Let's get out our business cards, Dan, and let's purchase one of these.
So
whatever it does.
I thought, wow, okay, this channel has a very specific tech focus. It is gear for basically content creators. And we've seen channels like this before. I mean, Harris Heller comes to mind. He'll talk about stuff like this all the time. And I just want to make sure they continue in this direction of reviewing like individual pieces of tech that could help streamers. Now, what's interesting is the latest video, how to live stream multicam cooking and product demo show. There's so much going on with this title.
That's specific as well, isn't it?
Yes, it's a specific title, but the video zoomed out from just covering a specific type of tech. And now it's like, I'm going to give this full demonstration. This would have been better pitched as like a studio tour or something to that degree. I love seeing people kind of test things out, but I think people liked and people were responding to when you talked about specific gear, and when you kind of did this demonstration, it didn't go as well. Could this have been better as a live stream, right? Yeah. Maybe it was a live stream, but it should have maybe stayed on the channel. Maybe you did it on Twitch. I'm not sure. But there's definitely a lot to kind of like dig into here with just 4 videos, and it's just really encouraging to see what they're doing.
I'm going to resist the urge to talk about the thumbnails, Dan. I'll give him a pass. Yeah, I think, especially when you're talking about a specific piece of technology, you'd love to be able to illustrate the key point of it, the aha moment. But when we talk about this latest video of how to live stream multicam cooking and product demo shows, you're talking to a very tiny audience there. So my assumption is that you're maybe doing a call to action here, whether it is to buy a product or a service. You yourself maybe do service. If that is the intent of a video, that is cool. Let's just check here. So we've got some affiliate links, but not necessarily anything about a course or a service that they're pushing. Because this is something that we have been really conscious of and try to resist the urge to do, because we always get creators saying, how do you grow a finance channel or a health channel or a music channel? And, you know, we could do those videos. It would be tricky because we're not subject matter experts in those topics. But the thing we have to appreciate is that as a YouTube education channel, the moment you talk about a specific type of audience or focus, you alienate everybody else, which is usually 90 to 95% of the audience. And, you know, this latest video kind of essentially does that. Whereas these videos that talk about specific products that anybody can use in the live streaming universe has a somewhat more of a universal appeal. Yeah. And I, in the past, have grown a tech channel focusing on one specific solution to a tech problem, which was how to record on an iPhone screen and tablet, which was difficult at the time. But I was able to broaden out from that scope eventually. And for me personally, that's the route I will be going down. I will be covering every single aspect of this YOLO box to give live streamers the best solutions for that tech, and then just gradually introducing other parts of tech behind it. I mean, they have done this one, which is a behind the scenes tour, which wasn't about the YOLO box, and that did well. It did 1,000 views. And, this one maybe will pick up views as well. But there was a big gap. We do have to ask that question. Why do you have a 3-month gap? If you're coming back and saying, I'm starting afresh, what would be the advice there? I think we're giving it as best we can. I would also say this as well, Dan. You are a channel that helps people live stream, and yet you don't have any live streams on the channel. I feel as if for credibility's sake and to create longer form videos, which could be titled very similar to these, you should be dabbling in live streams. I would say your Everest channel, the creator is at the very pinnacle of this, is Live Streaming Pros. Luria, I can never remember her surname. Petrucci?
I think you're close. I can't remember very well either.
Let's just do.
I was going to say Harris Heller does that a lot. He'll stream.
And Harris Heller is another one, yeah. But I'm sure you're probably already aware of this channel, but you can get maybe a lot of inspiration and guidance in terms of the topics that you maybe want to cover here. So anything maybe that's less than a couple of years old, it's probably still relevant in the live streaming world. But other than that...
Yeah, Jimmy also is here and agrees live streams are probably a good idea. So yeah, that's cool. Any of course, for everybody, don't do anything you don't enjoy, obviously. But yeah, because you're covering live stream gear, I assume there's an interest there. I want to say for the latest video about the cooking demonstration, to me, sometimes we joke like, oh, you need a channel focus. A tech channel wouldn't just do a cooking video, but that's kind of exactly what you did. So I'm pointing it out because what you could have done instead is focus less on the cooking aspect, in the title, and focus more on like, okay, I want anyone to watch this, right? So how do you do that? Okay, today we're going to show you how to light a really big space, like a kitchen. Yeah. And you have the kitchen behind you. Like maybe you're not a cooking channel, but you might be in a situation where you're trying to light your studio and it's rather large or whatever. So that's what we're going to do today. And there's going to be a cooking demonstration going on in the background because we're helping this channel as a cooking channel or whatever. Like you kind of explain away the cooking part, but you let the audience know with the title, with the thumbnail, and with the intro, you're not here for the cooking part, and we understand that. Yeah. We're here to show you how to just light a space like this and how to do this multicam setup. It's a very complex, very advanced setup, but it doesn't have to be so hard. We're going to break it down, blah, 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 blah.
In the packaging, you're promoting the canvas rather than what you're painting, because the paint is like the cooking show, but the canvas is this concept of being able to live stream in a technical or complex way. Now, it's saying his day job is corporate live streaming. So if that is specifically the target audience you're going after, that's cool. And if you get maybe 1,000 views on your videos, that's all you need. Let's just be clear on that, because what you'll probably be wanting is clear calls to action to hire you to live stream their next production.
Yeah.
If that is the goal of a channel, then you can maybe ignore everything we just said and just remember to do a really good pitch and sell of what you intend to, I guess, monetize.
My sense is that Jimmy's double dipping. So you have not. I'm not trying to say that in a negative way. I just think you're benefiting from. Yeah. So this was a client. I think maybe this is their primary client, or maybe it's just a client out of many. And they said, yeah, sure, you can make a video about behind the scenes of my thing and put it on your YouTube channel. I don't care. And so you did that, right? You're like, okay, today I'm working with a client that's a cooking channel. Don't worry about that though. We're focused on this really complicated setup. They want to set up 4 cameras and they're going to need lighting that covers the entire kitchen, blah, 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 blah. So again, it's the same advice, but yes, exactly. You're removing the cooking show demo. We're not worried about that. It's specifically the multicam setup for a very specific environment, right? So I think it's really cool that you have the freedom to do your day job and then make YouTube content about your day job. That's kind of a really good place to be, because it allows you kind of launch this channel while also not taking any huge financial risks. This is equipment you already have, and so it's very easy compared to some other creators to kind of do this kind of work, which I'm just excited about if I'm understanding their whole setup here. But cool. I'm glad Jimmy's here and totally intended double dip. Okay, awesome. I'm glad I nailed that too. But yes, congrats to you on 4 long form videos and 100 subscribers, and you know, just really good success here. There's so many creators who have posted many videos and not cracked 1,000 views, and that's what we're trying to help change. But it's just good to see this is such a strong start for you.
Dan truly is the channel audit horse whisperer. He knows
what
the intent of every creator. With that being said, let's go and do some super chats. You've been sending them in. Look at that, Dan knows, like, yeah, Dan is amazing. Hire Dan to be your personal consultant. He charges $3 million
a minute,
an hour. Oh, a minute now. Jeez, that's savage territory. Right. Okay. So we have some people who are now being members for an incredible amount of time, and that is Koifish Gaming.
Bruh.
You just get sort of random sound effects that you can use for the week, and that's one for Koifish Gaming. We've also got the Debbie Way Gaming, who is on fire being a member, but the Santa Claus of vidIQ is here once again in May in the sweltering heat. Old Man Gibb has just gifted another 10 vidIQ memberships. I continue to refuse to understand how these work because it kind of sounds funny.
It's just random.
I don't know who gets these memberships. I don't choose them. I don't think Dan does. Enjoy them, whoever gets them.
It's all randomized. So if Old Man Gibb gives 10 memberships, he cannot choose who gets them. And
let me just check. Old Man Gibb is responsible for 60% of our membership business. Please keep that up. or don't.
You don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that. Right, next super chat. And I think this is actually genuine super chat from Kunal Khatri. I've shifted from fitness to cinematic inspirational videos. Do you recommend to start a new channel?
Fitness to cinematic inspirational videos. It does sound like a new channel to me.
Yeah.
Unless the fitness element is the inspiration, if that makes sense. So if maybe your fitness video is more cinematic now and you're talking about the benefits of it, that sounds like a similar audience. But if this is a complete 180 pivot, yeah, it sounds like, especially if you want to keep the old content. Like if you have a channel that's monetized and the old content's still bringing in revenue, there's no reason to destroy that by pivoting the whole channel and then diluting everything. You leave the old channel alone and you start a new one with everything you've learned. So yeah, it just kind of depends, but it sounds like a new channel to me.
That is such a good answer, Dan. I don't think I need to add to that one. So we'll go to leaving the hamster wheel. Help! I'm having a hard time gaining subscribers. I feel as if this is one of these super chats, Dan, where we need to try and recenter the mentality, the focus of the creator. And by that I mean, yes, maybe 1,000 subscribers will help you towards monetization, but there is a lot you need to get through beforehand, and that is building consistent content the audience comes back for. So I would try and emphasize the performance of each video in terms of video A gets 50 views. Video B, does it get slightly more views than video A? Does video C get slightly more views than video B? And increasing the number of viewers per video is how to start building an audience. And over time, the momentum comes without you even realizing, and people start to subscribe. So for me, Dan, it's more thinking about, I'm having a hard time gaining subscribers. Let's worry about if you're getting people to watch your content on a regular basis.
Yeah, and to do that, I would say, because it's leaving the hamster wheel, you're holding some money in the profile image. I did peek at the background just to see if I was right, and I am indeed right. The channel is about like money saving, things like that.
Okay.
So focus on more specific problems. Like, you know, try to not be so broad with your topics and say, okay, if I was having a problem saving money, I don't know, maybe I would type in money saving tips, but that sounds like a lot of people would make a video about that. But maybe there's ways to save when I eat out. Like people want to save money, but they still want luxuries in life. So maybe you do a video about the cheapest places to eat. And suddenly it's kind of a different audience, but it's still the same thing, right? I want to save money, but I also want to do the thing. And so you're coming into the rescue with saying like, okay, there's definitely sit down restaurants you can eat at that are a lot cheaper than others. Here's like the top 10 or something to that effect. So think about it from a different angle. Like try to do topics that are not so broad, right? Like, and this is for everybody. Like just if you're competing in a really broad space, focus on more specific issues, focus on specific problems.
These are my favorite super chats because we don't have to answer a question. And also, it's just people giving us money to say how good we are. And it comes from The Great Outdoors. Thank you for your feedback a few weeks ago. I am almost at 1,000 subscribers. We are well on the way. That's the wrong. Sorry. That was a. Ignore that. I was supposed to do that one. It's quite the opposite horn noise. But anyway, my question back to you, Great Outdoors, is it was a one thing, I assume, from that answer to the question or that channel audit that was the aha moment. Let us know, but don't send it as a super chat because we don't need to read it out, but we want the audience to see it in the chat. So like if there was one thing that really helped from the advice that we gave you, do let everybody know in the community because hopefully it will really benefit them. Dan, the question here is Broken Skull. Are horror channel gaming channels still popular in 2024? Are they still getting good engagement?
I would check in on creators who kind of like, when you think horror gaming, who do you think of? Like Markiplier's one of the first people who comes to mind, but I'm sure there's more. I would be checking in with those creators to see what they're up to, because why does something get popular? It's usually because people who have like an established audience start diving in really deep. So for example, like there's this game on Steam. It was published by a YouTuber. It was created by not a YouTuber, but this YouTuber has a publishing company called Donkey. It's called Animal Well. And all these mega popular YouTubers got curious and they all started streaming it. And Animal Well became very popular and did very well on Steam. And it's pretty awesome. That's kind of how a trend kind of starts. People pick up on something and then the big creators learn about it. And then all of a sudden it sweeps YouTube. So was this horror in, 2018, 2015? I have no idea. So I don't follow that space. I don't know. It's kind of up to you to do the research, but check in on the creators that are like the main influencers. Are they still doing horror? And it might kind of answer your question. I'm sure there's still an audience for it. Just because something leaves the most popular limelight doesn't mean it doesn't carry some kind of audience with it. But yeah, I would be checking on the people who kind of are the authority on that topic, as weird as that is to say.
Last super chat before we go back to channel audits, but we will do the super chats that have already come in later on. The Lovely Scrub. I got 1,200 subscribers, 100,000 views, and 15,000 hours of watch time. That is a lot of watch time for that amount of views. So you must be doing some long video essays or epic stuff, which is great. On a 3-week-old channel with oh my goodness, it just gets better and better. Everyone check out The Lovely Scrub. Like, you are allowed to leave this live stream right now and check out what they're doing on the channel, which makes them so fantastic.
You have to come back.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you have to come right back though.
And the reason I did that one as the final super chat for now is because it kind of moves us nicely onto whether or not you've been submitting your celebrations for milestones. And I'm going to need to get some new music for this, Dan. Some like upbeats, the rocky music, but not the rocky music. It's not copyright or anything. What is this? I like it. We just need to put this on directly on the thing because it sounds horrible coming from wherever it's coming from.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do some shout outs down. Stop it. I'll tell you what, we'll do this one, right? I mean, it's not perfect. It's called vidIQ Tension Theme. Let's bring it up again. All right. So, we're celebrating Fruit Punch with 20,000 subscribers. Some nice subscribers there. Alan Bean with Bean Traveling. Hey, I like that channel name. 300 subscribers, 80,000 views. Excellent progress. And Archie Gamer 7 is very grateful for their first 75 subscribers, 3/4 of the way to that 100 subscriber milestone. Dan, you can lead with.
Well, hold on. Can you guys hear us okay? Because when we play this music, it tends to garble us, and I'm seeing my mic is broken. So Am I muted? Because they're saying I'm muted.
No, I can hear you perfectly fine.
All right, well, I guess
I've turned it down a bit.
All right, so the Blitz with 125,000 views. Congrats to you. We have Shangsay Games with 100 subscribers. Congrats.
Nice work. Nice work.
You were good. Sounds good. Thank you, everybody. 500 subscribers for John. Something. Congrats to you.
Yeah, and I think this is an Irish surname, and I think it's relatively straightforward how you pronounce it, but I can't remember what it is. It's Keo, maybe. But anyway, 500 subscribers. We're also saying congratulations to Miss Anessa with 1.8 million views and 7,000 subscribers. And Stuff by Neil Smith has hit 2,000 views there. And also, It's a Pixel Thing with 800 subscribers gained. And Dan, who have we got left here?
It looks like 20,000 subscribers for Bacon and Newbie.
Goodness.
We have 950 uploads for It's a Pixel Thing.
That's a lot of videos.
That's quite a few. Almost 1,000. And then, let's see, 13,000. Okay, this is old. Yeah, but still 13,000 views for that channel. That's too tiny for me to read.
And this was the one we were at when we started these milestones. So congratulations to all of you we've just shouted out. Just a reminder, you can get your own shout out with the next set of super chats, which will be coming up in the second hour of the live stream. But now, thank you, Dan, for pausing the music. We are going to go to another way to get involved with vidIQ's live stream every single week, and that is through our Facebook group, which is just exploded in popularity and size. I think we're over 20,000 members now. It's completely free to join, and Victoria, our awesome community manager, runs that place, that hood. But she has some very curious competitions that she does every single week, and for some reason, Victoria likes to get people to read, make stories out of emojis, Dan. So this week we had the smiley emoji, rocket emoji, cat emoji, pizza emoji, globe emoji, balloon emoji, and microphone emoji, which needed to be turned into a story. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Dan, to read out the story at the very bottom there. Yes, sharing the screen would help as well. I completely forgot to do that. But anyway, that's the quiz that Victoria set us this week. And so, Dan, the story is...
I cheerfully smiled, got on my rocket ship, cat in hand. Okay, so I don't have to read the emotes. Got it. I cheerfully got on my rocket ship, cat in hand, to deliver pizza around the world. 99 Luft balloons is what I sang nonstop on my journey.
What are Luft balloons?
I have no idea.
Is this a reference to audio? Because I know Luft is a type of volume that's spoken about. But anyway,
I don't know.
Sometimes you don't need to know anything about YouTube and just be a great storyteller from emojis, and you will get your channel audited. So we're going to find out now if searching for tone has any YouTube chops. They are a retired New York City firefighter.
Wow.
Now helping guitarists just like me. So that is a big, I guess, vocation shift.
Yeah.
From fighting fires to plucking threads. I don't know.
No, to starting them, because that's how much they rock. Get it?
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Dan, let's talk about this channel.
I'm sorry.
Almost 100 subscribers, 30 videos into their journey.
Yeah, this is awesome. Let's see. Fake Sam Ash scams uncovered. Okay, so I'm going to assume Sam Ash is like a store where they sell guitars and things like that. If so, this is kind of an interesting way to take two popular things and bring them together, right? So guitars. So it's like for your audience, but then you're also talking about scams, which could appeal to a wider audience. This video went live 16 hours ago. I would let this one cook a little bit because this is really interesting. Like, I will watch scam videos and it doesn't really matter what the industry is. I want to know the story, like what happened. And so I could see myself watching that video. That might take a bit to hit, right? Because your audience is like, I kind of like your other videos where you unbox different products and things like that.
Yeah.
But if YouTube starts serving that to some newer viewers, it's only been 16 hours, they still could, you might see that video kind of has a spike. That'd be pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm very curious to see where that one goes. Overall, though, it does seem like they are focused more on like tools for musicians and solid place to be. It kind of almost makes them a tech channel in that regard.
Mm.
We can talk about thumbnails a little bit, I suppose.
I think it's time to do that. Yeah, we haven't really focused on thumbnails yet this week. Now, let's appreciate that this creator is towards the beginning of their YouTube journey. There's some things that we can pick out here and maybe improve.
Yeah, there's a lot of use of like different backgrounds. I'm seeing a lot of like Canva-y stuff. And when I say that, I'm always careful to say like, you can use Canva, that's fine. It's just that Canva offers a lot of templates, and these templates are often the first thing that you kind of see when you go on Canva. You're like, oh, these thumbnails are pre-made. The problem is everyone uses them. So Canva is a great tool. I would try and be a little more customized with it, you know, use more of the customization tools rather than just taking an out-of-the-box template, because these don't feel like a music channel in some cases. Like the wooden background one keeps standing out to me, probably because it's so nice and clean compared to the other thumbnails. Yeah, but it doesn't, I don't know what you're doing. Not another SM57 demo. Are you holding an SM57 or a TV remote?
Yeah,
I can't tell.
Yeah.
So you could have just had the mic. You could have even kept yourself out of that thumbnail if you wanted to, or just, you know, hold the mic closer. There's some things you could have done there. What I really want to talk about are these 3 pinkish purplish thumbnails that are just like, you know, they need a little bit of help. I get that the TeamU logo should be there because you're probably buying these things on TeamU. I get the price being there, but it's not really pointing at a specific object or anything. It's just kind of a number floating in the background. And then the text is like right over the thing you're trying to show us. And this also looks like the same exact video 3 times, which is also confusing, but I'm sure there's a subtle differences. Putting that aside though, yeah, the latest one did the best, but I think it could have done better if we got rid of that analog delay on the thumbnail. It says it in the title, and it's covering up the products. And I almost wonder again, because you keep including yourself in the thumbnails, which isn't bad, but a lot of product reviews zoom in on the product.
Yeah. When you mentioned this thumbnail in particular, Dan, I think it crystallized my thoughts here. And this creator, I think, has some understanding of what they need to include in the thumbnails, but hasn't yet grasped how to foreground or background particular elements. And you're 100% correct in that the hero, the protagonist of the thumbnail should be the product, the solution to the problem. And in each of these, it's either too small, it's covered up by something, it's an afterthought. Whereas this one, the product is a little more front and center. Yeah. So I think this video does perform a little bit better. In this thumbnail, I could be mistaken for thinking these are iPhones. Right?
Yes.
With big camera.
Like knockoff iPhones.
Knockoff iPhones, yeah. And then the text covering them doesn't help. You probably want to just show one of these and with a big amount next to it from Temu. Do you need to be in the thumbnails? I guess that's a question that we need to ask at this point. Are you important enough to your audience? I don't know. And then another thing that we talk about quite often is the thumbnails are very flat. And what I mean by that is when you look at this thumbnail, you're not sure what you should be looking at first, whether it's the price at the top. I think your eyes are probably drawn to Temu first because of the bright orange. Okay, but where should you go after that? Does it need analog delay? Does it need all of these 3 elements? Is it just important to say that it's $13 or that it's from Temu or that this product is rubbish? I think one of those things to help describe the product would be better than trying to include all 3 and then kind of forcing yourself into the thumbnail to say, well, I don't know. It's, again, just another element. So yeah, thumbnail wise, it's a start, but there's room for improvement.
I find it very interesting they don't want to be in their thumbnails. So this kind of comes back to like, you know, just maybe, okay, I'm going to make an assumption here and assume that the reason you put yourself in your thumbnails is because somebody out there said you should be in all your thumbnails, and you took that to heart and said, I guess I should be in all my thumbnails. I don't care who said that. It's just some advice doesn't work for everybody. And that's, we have to be really careful around here when we give channel reviews, because we try to remind you guys that like what we're telling one channel could apply to you. And that's why we do this live so everyone can see it. But sometimes it doesn't. And it takes a bit of like awareness of your audience and the things you do and the thing in your comfort level to know what will work for you and what won't work for you personally. So if you don't want to be in your thumbnails, it happens that your space in particular thrives on thumbnails that don't include the creator all the time.
There we go. I mean, it's simple, but I get it. Cool.
Yep.
That's what it is.
It's perfect.
Stick Timu next to that and $13 with a question mark. I think that's more effective.
Yeah. So that's why we look at such a variety of channels, because sometimes our advice will contradict stuff. Like the next channel, we may contradict ourselves and say, you should be in your thumbnails. That's because certain types of channels work with certain types of things, right? And if let's say we do that and the channel that we're looking at is like, I don't want to be my thumbnails, then fine. That's great. You can find a way around that. But like, we're just trying to help as many people as possible. And I try hard, and I fail a lot, but I try hard at not making big blanket statements, because that's where we get people who are like, I guess I have to be in my thumbnails because that one person said everyone should be in all of their thumbnails all the time. YouTube is so nuanced. You don't have to do the same exact thing someone else is doing.
I guess our get out clause here, Dan, is that we offer the strategies and solutions and foundations of a channel so that you understand them and are able to break them for your unique set of circumstances. Is that enough?
Seems like it covers the bases.
All right, then. So
we need to ask our lawyers, I guess.
That is searching for tone. Thank you for submitting your channel. And now this next one, Dan, truly does break an incredible amount of rules and thoughts on like how. I don't know, like I'm genuine when I say here, when I look at this channel, I thought, I can't believe this is a channel. Am I being trolled? And at the same time, I say to myself, there is an audience for everything on YouTube. So I present to you, Dan, the following channel, which is DeTraffic Street Beatz, right?
Okay.
And you look at it and think, all right, 3,000 subscribers. They've posted a lot of videos. Their latest videos get hundreds of views. So they have a bit of an audience and a bit of attraction. And you look at the thumbnails and think, is this just somebody who films traffic lights and the changing of traffic lights and the traffic that goes through these traffic lights? And then you click on one of the videos and the answer appears to be yes. Yes, it is. Because I'll go 2 minutes in, and I don't believe there's any voice narration. It is just the sound of the traffic. And I don't think they've gone anywhere. It is just a continued coverage of this intersection somewhere in America of cars going through traffic and a bag blown in a wind. That's a bit American Beauty.
Engagement's low. 0 comments, 11 likes.
So
I guess there's not much to say.
Yeah, but there are some comments on some videos. Okay. So I think this is organic. I believe. I don't think this is just being thrown onto an external channel somewhere. So I don't know. I don't know how we have a conversation here, Dan, other than to present to you a channel which I never thought would have an audience of any description in. I thought it'd be similar to a Let's Play gaming channel that gets less than 10 views per video. But this channel has something. They have an audience of some kind. They're getting views. They have to be credited on that alone. Is there anything else they can do with this?
I would be scouring my community for the most unique traffic lights, like in setups. There are some very confusing intersections. I have to imagine the more confusing the intersection, the better the video will do. Also, you know, we look at those train spotting channels, and there's only ever a couple popular ones, and then the train spotters try and get in there, and it's really difficult. I think it's because traffic lights are more ubiquitous than trains. You know, in America, for example, we do not have a lot of like passenger rail in the country, like throughout the entire country. I mean, there's subway systems and stuff in certain cities, but yeah, for the most part, rail lines are way more popular in other countries. So that's already like a large subset of YouTube that's not watching the content. But here, like there's traffic lights everywhere, all over the world. So they're automatically a little more popular than that. This reminds me of that channel where they just live stream that bridge, that low bridge all the time. And they post clips of trucks, like just completely destroying themselves on the low pass bridge. This reminds me of that, but with less disaster. I don't know. I think, do people click on these because they're curious? Did someone crash over here? Why are we watching this? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe they watch the whole thing because they're just like waiting for the moment something bad to happen. And like, no, I just like traffic lights. I just like showing traffic lights. in their natural habitat.
I think it's cool that something like this exists on YouTube in what looks to be a completely harmless and innocent way, and that's cool. And there's like a hint of humor here, like in the community tab, red, yellow, or green, and like the green is an alien face. That's pretty cool. And like, I'm gonna go with the alien, yeah, because everybody else has. And now I've voted. We're probably gonna get this in our history for a little while.
I think we need a third opinion here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me just press the button.
All right.
There he is. Travis XP has arrived.
What's going on, everybody?
So Travis, we're talking about here one of the most curious channels we've ever come across, which is what we believe is a channel literally about traffic lights.
Oh.
And they go to an intersection, they film the changing of the lights and how the traffic negotiates it, and they've got 3,000 subscribers, and their videos get hundreds of views.
Wow.
And we're thinking, this is cool, this is incredible. I didn't realize this could be a thing on YouTube. Is there a way they can take this forward even more?
You know, I always say that almost anything you put on YouTube will have an audience somewhere. Like, there's just people will watch anything. And that's not
It's pretty like that. People are more encouraging about this.
I'm not trying to say anything bad. I'm just saying that, like, someone was like, you know, traffic lights, we see them every day. Let's just show them off. I mean, what's next? Stop signs? I don't know. But I think it's great. I mean, maybe I think the next step of this is to see ones around the world. I don't know how you do that. I guess you just have to, you know, like, because they look different around the world, right? Like, there's the upside down ones and the sideways ones, and I don't know what else you do. I think at some point the American sign becomes a little bit dry. What do you got? Like almost you have 1,000 videos of this. What is?
Oh, a lot. 2,000.
Oh yeah, it's time to do other stop signs, maybe.
I think I like Dan's idea as well, like maybe listicles of like the 5 most confusing street traffic.
Oh yeah.
Like, because this one here, how does this work? How can you do a right turn with 2 greens there? Like, surely you're just cutting across oncoming traffic.
That's scary.
Traffic in
That's
your
a
lane.
scary one right there. I'm sure there's a lot of those that exist somewhere, and that's pretty that's brutal. I mean,
that is a cool thumbnail in itself. Like, it makes me curious. Maybe it needs some arrows pointing to it and like a thinking emoji or something. Just to
how does this work? In question, you know.
That's
maybe they need a YOLO underneath it. Well, let's go.
There's one more thing I want to say. There's a shorts channel I found once by accident. There's an engineer that goes around to traffic lights, but they this is their job, and they show themselves, and they're like, okay, I'm going to show you how. Like, they show behind the scenes. They open up the little box that controls the intersection, and they even will like change the lights while traffic is moving and everything, which is like wild. I have no idea who this person is, but like, it could be the next phase of this. If you have access to that, maybe you know somebody. I have no idea. You
ask people to hack lights. Dan, I don't think that's a good idea.
No. They don't hack lights. It's safe. It's safe. Like, he hits the button and then it does its process.
I think that was the whole premise of Die Hard 4. I seem to remember.
So anyway, like, this is interesting to people, and I
whoa, geez, what is that? Scroll up. What is that?
I think that's just a monument. I don't think that's an actual
tree.
Lord, that's
a literal tree.
I just got a nightmare. Oh my god.
Although I seem to remember there is a famous roundabout. Well, you guys don't know what roundabouts are, do you?
We're starting to get them.
There is a terrifying roundabout in Swindon. That looks like, how do you navigate that thing?
No, you don't.
Wasn't that
anyway?
Austin
You
Powers
stay
movie?
inside. You stay inside.
We're getting deep into a topic here. I think we need to put a pause at this point, because those are all of the pre-selected channels. I can't believe we've just spent 10 minutes auditing a traffic lights channel. But hey, that is the beauty of YouTube.
No, there's one more. Hold on. There's another shorts channel I found recently. I don't know why I get pushed these. Somebody redoes roads with like digitally. They're like, okay, so this road has these problems, but we're going to fix it. And it's just them commentating over this like animation they did. I don't know. Is there commentary you can add to these? I guess is my point. It's like, is there anything else you can add to this as time goes on? But anyway, sorry. There's a lot of people covering traffic stuff out there.
Dan, where we're going, we don't need roads. You know, I always feel as if Dan is like the most mature person of a team, and then he just plays that sound effects.
Oh, that was him? I thought that was you doing it.
No, it's not me.
I thought that was...
Jeez. Anyway, this is a CLAAW. It's returned this week. I don't know what Dan's plan is here. It feels like he's trying to chat GPT the CLAAW out of existence with his tools, but I'm going to have it when I'm hosting. And it works like this. We have 486 responses on the forms. So we type that number in here, and then we randomly pick one of these out of the CLAAW, and that appears to be number 22. And that channel will now get a channel audit. We've not had any preconceived ideas or notions on this channel. So we are coming to a channel called Stuff by Neil Smith, Woodwork and Photography. So already a bit of a topic challenge here. But nevertheless, if copy and paste is working on my computer, which it is, we can audit this channel. And since Travis is new to the stream at the moment, we'll give you first impressions here. What are we looking at?
Stuff by Neil Smith. 20 subscribers, 14 videos. A channel's about my 2 hobbies, woodworking and photography. Okay. All right. So if I'm into woodworking, that's great. I wonder how much photography they're into, because those 2 things don't necessarily go together. Again, you know, if you're just out there wanting to put out content then it's fun to you, whatever, that's fine. But if you're really trying to make this a thing, you're going to have to figure out which you like more and which is more successful. It looks like right now the woodworking one is, because you look, there's one video with 300, actually a couple with 300. What's interesting is click on this one that says Makers Part 1. I don't believe that thing has 300 views with no thumbnail of interest.
Whoa.
11 likes, which is possible for 300. How many comments? 10 comments. It's not out. Oh, that's cool.
That should have been the thumbnail.
Yeah. Why isn't this the thumbnail?
Like, picture the Batmobile, homemade with an arrow pointing at the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Why isn't any of this the thumbnail? Like, why isn't any of this the thumbnail? It's, I mean,
I would say that Neil should use the photography skill to make the thumbnails, but focus on the handmade stuff.
I did want to quickly touch on that point, Dan. If this person describes themselves as a photography enthusiast, then already there's a credibility question. And you will say, if you're good at photography, then we should see that the moment we see your content, and that includes the packaging. So like a very stylized picture of, as you said, a Batmobile, the thing that you've built, etc., etc. So certainly thumbnails is one thing that they would want to focus on. I'm guessing Travis is that once they got into the video, like the first 3 seconds was that wow moment, seeing that homemade Batmobile, like kind of got enough people invested to watch the rest of the video and then send positive signals to YouTube further on. And maybe Makers Central 2024, that had a bit of traction to it when the event happened. Maybe it was filmed on the day and published on the day.
Yeah, this one's an interesting one. I love the idea that, again, the editing of the one we just watched was good because it went right into something visually interesting. It didn't waffle on about, hi, welcome to my channel. So that part is right. You nailed it. But you need a thumbnail to make people click in, because if I see that, I'm just going to scroll right by. It's like, oh, that looks like an ad. And same thing with the second one. Like, that's an ad to me. It doesn't look like an actual video. It's just an ad. And you're hiding what is, kind of the cool part of those videos. What's this? I'm just out of curiosity. First 10 seconds of the 16-minute one, the most recent one for 4 days ago. I wonder if that one's just as interesting.
There was no sound on this one.
One thing that I have had the opportunity of doing in the last 3 years is getting to know.
So now you're gonna have to like.
You need to know who this YouTuber is to have any vested interest. It's not a homemade Batmobile in the first 10 seconds.
Batmobile. Oh, you're right though. But yeah, I mean, at least that one you can understand. Okay, Maker Central is this conference or whatever, right? Which is fine. But again, the one thing that conceptually every person who's listening who has any kind of like niche, doesn't matter what your niche is, understand this one powerful tip. There are a certain amount of people inside of your niche that watch the content that you make. The bigger number are the people just outside of your niche who don't regularly watch it but might be interested and just either don't have an idea about it or just haven't seen anything compelling yet to bring them in. So you need to bring those people into your niche, and someone who doesn't know what Maker Central is but might really enjoy the conversation, or in the first one might really enjoy like things made from it, would click that video, and you're disqualifying them from your thumbnail and your title. So you need to think about that.
I'll give a final 20 seconds to Dan, and then we'll pick another channel.
I think we covered it. I just want to emphasize that it looks like the convention is really, really cool. And the thumbnails were a slam dunk. All we needed to see was one thing that somebody made themselves with, like I said earlier, that text that just says homemade with an arrow pointing. And then you could say something a little more impactful in the title, like as the first part. And then Makers Central 2024 is like the last little bit on the title, just for that last little bit of search for the people who know what Maker Central is. But yeah, I would have taken the convention part out of it, as Travis has been saying, and like you can get more people into the conversation. It doesn't really matter that was at a convention. I want to know more about that Batmobile, and I want to know what else is on the floor at the convention. It looks really, really cool, but I would just never, ever, you really did bury the lead on those. And it's not, I'm not trying to, none of us are trying to criticize here or anything. We just want to like help when the next time you do something like that, or it's probably not too late to change these videos just to see what they do. But the next time you do something like that, just really think about bringing in people who have no idea what something is. We talked to a channel once that was covering medical, like people use their eyes, right, to like play football, and so they like focused that was the whole thing. But they were like a doctor that like helped people get better at football, not by training their muscles, but by training their eyesight. No one's looking for how do I get better at football based on my eyesight. No, it's hey, this will make you better at football, and now suddenly everyone's like, I want to get better at football. Oh, wow, I never considered that it was because I can train my eyes in certain ways. You know, it's just changing the barrier to entry on your content so it helps more people understand what it is, even if they're not looking for it.
I spotted one more thing I just want to point out. I'm certainly no expert in either hobby, but I do enjoy them both. And that is a bit of an insight into the honesty and the humility of the creator. And I'm wondering if they could lean into that and say, look, hey, I'm a beginner just like you. I don't necessarily know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure out how to do it. And I'm going to share that experience with you in the videos that I make. So maybe leaning into that side of I guess what I'm trying to say here is that you're not trying to be like an educator or a teacher. Like you're almost like the common photographer, the common woodworking enthusiast. How can you sort of uplift that idea in the content? Let's pick another channel, and it's going to be a gaming channel this time, which has 398 responses. So we do need to adjust our numbers a fraction. Why am I hearing a sound effect, a ticking sound effect?
I thought that was a remix. That was cool. Like,
Dan, were you just emphasizing how long it takes to do it this way?
Yes.
That could have been a beat. That was hot.
It's
from Stardew Valley.
Tension and like it's fun. Okay, this is one of the challenges of doing a random, whereby we have picked another Pokemon channel. Like the first channel that we audited, the gaming channel, was a Pokemon channel, and now we have another one. Sometimes it happens like that. We just get all sorts of Minecraft channels or Roblox channels, or sometimes those games don't come up at all. But today, Dan, I'm going to throw at you. Is this a card?
It looks like Pokemon cards rather than video game.
Yeah, it's that grey area of, is this actually a gaming channel? But I guess considering it's part of a franchise, we'll let this one slide.
Well, yeah, board game, I guess. I don't know. We'll let it slide. Okay, now I want to look at that outlier, that 11X outlier right there. Yeah, Newcastle Retro Game Show. Now, we just looked at a channel that was covering a trade show. And this is probably similar, but we already know way more about this content just looking at the thumbnail, right? We have the creator dressed as Ash from the TV show. We have Newcastle Gaming Market. And then if Gaming Market wasn't enough, we have a Pokemon card like right in the middle of the thumbnail. I think the background's too busy, but neither here nor there. Got 1,000 views. People understood where that was coming from.
I was just checking the content style because they haven't posted anything for 4 months. Live streaming they say is where they're currently at. So I'm going to switch over to that just to check that we're in the right place.
We got a live stream coming up on the 1st.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Sorry. So live stream coming up on the 1st. Charity stream. What I want to see what's like a regular stream for them. So Temporal Forces booster pack. Okay, giveaway. There are more giveaways. I'm going to just give my take on this real quick. It doesn't look like they're doing too many. I'm discouraging people from doing giveaways whenever asked. I think if you're going to do a giveaway, it should be a surprise to the audience that comes to the content. It should not be a draw for new people to come into the content. So you keep giveaway out of the title and thumbnail. People come in and you're like, by the way, we're doing a giveaway today. And now it's different. Now it's for your audience, your tried and true fans, rather than, oh, I'm going to watch this Pokemon card channel I know nothing about and I don't care about because I want to try and win something. So,
yeah, I had a friend when I was in the come up. I had a couple of creator friends. We all kind of hung out together online, and I remember one of them was like, "I'm going to do a big giveaway on one of my live streams," and we were like, "All right, cool." We were really new at it at the time. We were like, "Okay, cool." So he got this big giveaway. I think he was giving away. I forget exactly what it was, but it was something fairly expensive. And it was one of his biggest live streams ever. Like, and again, we were smaller creators. So it was like, maybe had like 80 people or something in there, which was a lot for us. Right. And then the minute that he gave it away, 2 things happened. Number 1, half the people left the room immediately and never to come back. And number 2, everyone else who was left complained that they didn't win and that it was somehow rigged. So he was like, I'm never doing this again. Trust me when I tell you, it is not worth your time in any way. Do it like Dan. If you're going to do it at all, do it like Dan did it. You can do it for your members only, whatever you want to do. Like, trust me when I tell you, it's not worth the headache. It really isn't.
Yeah. So that's advice number 1. But sorry, Rob, go ahead.
I was going to ask you a fundamental question, Dan, about the live streaming aspect here. Is this the right format for this type of content? You would think yes, because that notion of seeing the true reaction to tearing off the foil and then, oh my goodness, I have got this rare card is amazing. But do you have to go through 3 hours of not much exciting stuff happening to get there?
Right.
And I'm wondering, do these types of videos benefit from a more produced style of content where you can build up a specific story around it, rather than the live stream aspect, where again you got to hope and expect people turn up, and with live streams that can be a challenge.
Right.
The way we figured it out is to make it very interactive and make it all about the viewer, and like, we're going to take a look at your channels, but with this it's like, come join us, we're going to unpack something. It could be a fantastic live stream or nothing could happen.
So yes, that is the problem, right? 3 hours, and there's so many unboxing videos that are competing with you. What you could do is, if you want to stream, and I encourage that, if you want to stream, record the stream so you can edit it down afterwards for the people who didn't make the stream, which is a lot of work, admittedly, but posting shorts and long form videos is how you grow a live stream, in my opinion. Live streams on their own, it's hard to grow. You have to have a very specific type of like niche and style, and it's frustrating. But if you post shorts and you post long form videos, one or the other or both, you can definitely get more new viewers to come check out your live stream when you're live. So you got to find a type of content that works, and it looks like you could, in theory, do that with this content, just edit it down. I want to say, like, their thumbnails, we can see it on the right there. I think for what they're doing, it's too busy. They should take more notes from the people who do unboxings all the time. Usually they show the unopened box, and they're in their own room, right? Their own setup, so it doesn't have that digital background that's very busy, that sunburst kind of background they got going on there. It doesn't have all that text on it. It's just like, I'm opening this today, and that's it. It's very nice and easy to understand. And then their background while they're streaming is incredibly busy, and which I wouldn't normally criticize something like this, but like the table they're using has so many patterns on it, and then the cards are on top of those, and then you have to fit your chat and your camera and all this stuff, and it just makes it so hard to look at. Maybe the people watching live on their TVs or whatever don't care that much, but it definitely feels like there's so much visual like stimulation here. I'm getting a little overwhelmed. I would love to see these cards on more of a clean backdrop of some kind to make them a lot easier to take in.
Trying to
that's
find,
just my own little right there. That's my own little nitpick. Look at that. It's hard to read what's going on already because they're kind of small, but now it's just so busy that like
make it full screen. Let's see what it looks like when it's full screen. Are you talking about like the Twitch chat or whatever?
No, I'm talking about like the middle of the screen where the cards are laying down.
Oh yeah, the colors and everything are very confusing. And you know what a lot of people don't think about is people that are colorblind, and that visually, because there's a lot of colorblind people out there. Visually can be very confusing and off-putting. That one is
I don't know how
I
this
understand why
looks
they did that.
full screen, by the way, because I've lost my live stream visuals now. Does this look okay? Can you see it?
It's okay.
I mean, we can see it.
We could do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
okay, there we go. All right. Yeah.
In any case, I was just the chat is on the right and their camera's on the top right, and like that's all fine. It's just like there's so much going on, and then so they have a busy background behind all of that too. I would simplify the style of their stream, and I wouldn't normally give a tip like that, but since we looked at it, I'm like, oh gosh, this is quite a bit. I like that Travis brought up colorblindness because that's very, very, very common. To the point where now it's very normal for a new game. Like game developers are adding those types of accessibility options in their menus. It's very normal to do. So.
Thanks for all that, Dan. Just lining up the next channel. Lots of useful stuff there, I think. Especially from a live stream perspective. Sorry, what was that, Dan? Whatever.
I kind of like. What did you spend all weekend looking for these weird sound effects? Is that what you did?
I have that. It's Stardew Valley.
Oh,
it's just on
AlgoChief, helping people in competitive programming to achieve an expert level of skill. I just hope you're not going to get chat GPT'd out of this in 6 months' time. All right. Some very, very hardcore. You've just entered a YouTube lecture theater thumbnails.
My goodness.
Yeah, I've actually coached a couple of programming channels, including one of the larger ones with over 1 million subscribers. And even he eventually got away from this, but a lot of the smaller / kind of mid-level coding channels, they look something like this. And again, it's because your thumbnails have to speak to the viewer that you're going after. So it's, someone who's into this is going to look like, okay, I know exactly what that is. Anyone else, although a lot of these look even, man, to figure out what the difference is like finding where's Waldo in
Spot
between
the difference thumbnails a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think even if they're similar or maybe a continuation, like just make them slightly more visually, because I have to read the whole thing to figure out what is different between the one from 2 days ago and one from 2 days ago. I guess the one that they put on the same day, I guess. Why not just put them together?
Is the most important thing the Chamo and Mockers array? Ingenuity -2,
maybe
that would be like the biggest thing to see on the thumbnail. You could probably get rid of prepared by this person, these icons. Maybe that can be like a little, maybe you just need the icon rather than the whole thing twice. I mean, simplify basically. We've got at least 10 words on each of these thumbnails.
I don't know if this is a more controversial suggestion, but what if they covered more programming basics, just more broad, like general programming basics, and then they put these courses either on playlists where they're not, like they're unlisted on a playlist, or you could charge a membership and make that members content or something like that. I
think even this would be a step in the right direction. That's at least more clear and easy to follow.
Yeah, it's definitely another option.
And then the other thing I noticed here was that they are doing multi-language. As I understand it, if you look at the thumbnails, I can see Hindi solution and English solution. Now, as I can tell, the view counts seem very similar. Maybe 100 to 200 per video. But we would usually suggest splitting these up into an English language version and a Hindi language version. And or YouTube's bringing in their own multi-audio track versions, which might help as well.
Should we get a fourth opinion?
All right. Someone was supposed to bring...
Oh, I thought you were doing that.
Yeah, good job.
Hey!
Hey, guys!
Oh my goodness! The vidIQ Boost team have arrived.
That's right.
Oh, hey.
Hey, this
How's
is
it going,
Jen. This is Jen.
Introduce yourself.
She's dope. Tell us all about yourself.
I'm Jen. I'm a creator coach here for our one-on-one coaching program. And you can catch me on the Boost and on Tube Talk now.
Yay.
Interesting stuff. Stuff. I think what we're going to do is hand over all of our Q&As, super chats to
thing.
Jen.
This is the sink or swim moment. This is the sink or swim moment. We're actually just all going to leave. And Jen, figure it out. Dan, execute order 66. We're out.
Oh, all right.
Let's go. All right. What have we got here? Hi, Jen. Hi, everyone. Okay.
Travis left,
you guys
but
gotta be friendly.
we can treat you with more respect now that Travis is gone.
Oh, well, that's normal.
Travis threw you to the wolves, and I apologize for that.
That's all right. I mean, what better way to learn or be on my first stream? Let's just go.
You brought me Bandit. I was just going to control things in the background.
Oh, I didn't
realize I was back.
I was wondering
anyway,
why you were talking.
We're auditing channel MyIQ's Eyes. MyIQ Eyes 1000, and this is a
My
gaming
IQ is 1000.
channel. Oh, yes. I just can't read the channel in. I apologize. That's what I typically do on these live streams, Jen. I just mispronounce everybody's channel's names. Anyway, Dan, we'll start with you and then give Jen a chance to warm up and then maybe offer some insight into this gaming channel. But first impressions, what have we got?
So I'm seeing that they took like a month break and then came back with I played Roblox's worst rated games. Ooh. And I like that they're kind of following this template. A lot of YouTubers are using this right now where you try the worst thing and you put the 1-star review on the screen. I think that's interesting. And I'm curious to see after a little bit of time where that video kind of goes. But it's the thumbnail could use a little work. Like the creator's face is a bit like distorted there. Almost like they put like, I guess, some Roblox hair on their own head or so. I don't know if that was necessary. There's like an explosion, and then the stars. I know this is a very little nitpick, but the stars are kind of hard to see. They're not those nice flat stars that Yelp uses. They're so bold and yeah. So
I agree.
That's my first take. Sorry?
Yeah, I said I agree. That was kind of my takeaway, where we have like a really traditional formula that goes cross niche with these stars. I would kind of push to make it feel a little bit more familiar with the stars in the text box there.
And thinking of a through line, Dan, we have is New Doors a game?
I don't know. It doesn't look like Roblox.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm trying to figure out. War Thunder, I don't think is
War
Roblox.
Thunder,
could
Roblox. Are they just trying to find funny, unique things in different games, which allows them to leapfrog from one game to another?
Yeah, and I don't want to discourage that necessarily. I know channels can like play multiple things and be successful. It's just I would be looking at that New Doors video and trying to figure out what worked with this. Is that game kind of like a trend right now? Could you have doubled down on that a little bit more? Because you still want to do if one, let's say one game takes off and you want to be a multi-game channel, I still think it's good to stick to that one thing for a bit and kind of build your audience, right? And then you test out little things in between to try and let people know, like, oh, I also do other stuff, but like, yes, we are still playing this thing that's on trend right now. But that's 1,000 views for a channel with like their last bunch of videos struggling to crack 100 views.
Yeah,
and I would just be curious to know, like, is there anything else you could have done? Maybe not. Maybe it was a one-off challenge. This New Doors game mode is now even harder, and then it says attempt number 7, so it looks like they were trying to do something. Maybe it was just the one-off, but could you have done another challenge a little bit similar, a little bit different? I'm not sure. And then can I be a pro in War Thunder? The intrigue is kind of missing for me there a little bit. So yeah, it's cool that they're doing challenges. That could be the through line for them, but I would work on the thumbnails, and I would consider if something works, if you can, maybe double down on it a bit more.
And I want to ask you one question, Jen, and this is from like a step back 5 or 10 paces. Let's say this channel has just hired you as the new YouTube coach for My IQ is 1000, and they've introduced their channel. what is typically the first question you may ask the creator to help get aligned with, where the channel wants to go?
I would start by getting to know the creator a little bit better, understanding kind of their story, what brought them to YouTube, so that I have a full understanding of why they want to be on the platform, like what they're trying to do. And then it would go into some concepts that we talk about all the time, understanding who their audience is and really the what and why behind their channel and how those marry together for those two concepts. So for this creator specifically, we would probably spend a lot of time, like Dan said, talking about ideas. So we have this video that succeeded really well. How can we duplicate this, replicate it in other ways? How can we take this to different games? How can we move that thumbnail text just a little bit so that the timestamp's not cutting it off? But that's really the ideation process, I think, for this creator would be having that organization, having that planning ahead of time, seeing these patterns, and then working together to figure out how they can create in a way that's going to be really effective to get that traffic again for other content. Oh,
I call that the knowledge bomb answer. And Jen has achieved that with her first answer.
First answer. You guys are so welcoming.
Just as a teaser, like this is the type of conversation you would have with a one-on-one coach here at vidIQ. But we're going to do some more questions. However, we've got to get through our super chats first. So audit's coming in about 5 or 10 minutes. So let's press all of the buttons that get us to the Q&A bits. I've lost it. There we go. Whoa.
Sorry, I was trying to get rid of it.
What are you doing? Oh, sorry. I'm trying to get rid of it as well. All right. We work so well together, Dan. Synergy. Love it. Right. I'm pressing that button. And now hopefully we should have some super chats. And I'm afraid somebody has achieved the vidIQ channel audit bingo cross off for this week, saying, how's our channel looking? If you hear at the start of a live stream, we don't audit channels based off of super chats. I think I had a very quick look in the background just because it was quite a sizable super chat. And I would say that your thumbnails are awesome, but you are covering a hell of a lot of different movies. And you may want to pick a specific genre, perhaps to solidify a core audience. But thank you for the super chats. Another super chat from Sound Silix. Greetings from Poland to all vidIQ users. Thank you there for the super chat. We have a new member, the lovely Scrub. That is your unique sound effect for the week. Super chat from Jimmy Talks Tech. We audited them earlier on. We hope you found that very useful, the advice that we give you. I think the biggest thing coming out of that, Dan, is that they're not going to be in the thumbnails going forward. So if they resist that in the future, that would be brilliant. Okay, I think we finally have a question. No, we don't. This is another statement. Every time a video gets views, more views than the previous one, I feel all warm and inside. Who else feels the same? Like that warm, fuzzy feeling.
That was we looked at their channel, Stuff by Neil.
Oh yeah, that was we've audited their channel as well. Goodness, this is just a big super chat loving right now. Any questions here? Right, okay, here we go. I think we got somebody who's a little cheesed off here. Scratch and Spoon Lotto. I think I'm pissed off by the algorithm. Can I just check? That word is kind of more accepted in America, isn't it? Like you hear that on television quite frequently. It's a bit more of a risque word to use in the UK, but I've heard it on American television all the time. Yeah,
I think I pissed off the algorithm. I don't say it that much because I know it is more of a, it's like it's not cursing, but it's like close for some people.
Anyway, my channel was doing really well, and then boom, flatline. Can uploading too much upset channel's progress?
I mean, I say kind of yes.
Yeah. Tell us more. Go on. Let's see.
Well, I don't think it's just that you're uploading too much. I think that if you're uploading too much and your quality is suffering or your ideas aren't fully developed, then that's your content, not messing up the algorithm, but it could be leading towards, falling short in other areas versus just uploading too much.
It's like you're creating for content's sake. I heard somewhere that I need to make 3 videos a week to please the algorithm, so I'm just doing that. That kind of the mentality, would you say, Jen?
I that's kind of what it sounds like. I'd be curious what the content looks like with that amount of content.
What do you reckon, Dan?
Definitely. I think that's usually the case when it comes to I'm uploading a lot and it seems to be doing worse for my channel, not better. Also, there are certain channels, like if you're uploading maybe like multiple times a day, for example, imagine subscribing to a channel and then suddenly you're bombarded with like all this stuff. Like you might feel like, wow, especially if the videos are long enough, I don't think I can keep up with this person, you know? So I'll pick and choose the ones that look the most interesting to me. And yeah, but more than likely it is a not, what do you call it, a quality over quantity kind of like situation where they should be focusing on quality, and simply because they're not spending enough time on videos, they can't.
Now, other reasons could be that it was a trending topic and now the audience has just moved on. They're not interested in it anymore. And I'm going to offer a Rob Wilson Frontier gibberish suggestion, right? Scratch and spoon lotto. Let's imagine this is some sort of interactive game style video that they're producing, but like the difference between every single video is minute. So there's not much variation in the content. It may be brushing up against what YouTube calls repetitious content. And because of that, it's now suppressing the content. But that's just a guess, completely based off of a channel name. I could be completely wrong. But I thought I'd offer you an alternative solution, not solution, but alternative reason why that might be happening to the channel. And I think actually that is it in terms of super chats. We've just got new members who get custom sound effects.
Emotional damage.
Jason Gaming, you'll have that for a week. And also Sutton Creek Productions. What is that? Please check the community tab for vidIQ imposters. We'll certainly do that after the live stream. And the final one is, which sound effect shall I give them? They can have this one. It is 9 finger wrenching. They've been a member now for 12 months. Incredible. Ooh. That is good. I didn't even realize we'd had memberships going for a year, Dan. So 9 finger wrenching must be one of the OGs here.
Yeah, that means a lot of you got access to the 12-month badge as well.
I was wondering, maybe he's just been living off old man Gibbs free memberships. He's just like been lucky enough to be handed one every single month. I don't know how it works.
Possibly.
Anyway, where's Travis gone? Like, did he literally just run and gun?
I think Travis was happy to see somebody else take over for him.
Travis like, I gotta go.
He turned up for 20 minutes and then just left. Anyway, Jen, you're still all right for another 20 minutes?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dan, I'm kind of being bribed here in the comments a little. I saw one come in that's 10 memberships to give away your channel address.
Yeah, don't do that.
You're taking advantage of the new person.
Our Extraordinary Ordinary Life just gave us a super chat.
All right, go on then. Do you want to read that out?
Videos were mostly about Florida locations, and now we've moved and we're exploring more Washington now. Should we start over from scratch, or is there a way to keep the channel alive? Interesting.
Keep it alive. What were you doing in Florida? It's got to be similar. I feel like just a different location.
Similar interests, right?
Yeah.
Well, there has been evidence in the past of like maybe travel channels or like location-based channels struggle when they move elsewhere. We did a case study or an interview with a channel where a couple lived in Valencia in Spain, and their audience was very much a more mature audience looking to retire, maybe in Spain. And then they went traveling in Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Korea, and their audience just completely abandoned them because it was just a different type, different location, different people and experiences. I'm always hesitant to just tell a channel to start brand new because like you're abandoning your audience, but there is experience of this on the channel if you want to search for it and find out the answer to that. Is that something that's ever come across your coaching dilemmas, Jen? Like a channel that does a big pivot and then they're not sure what to do next?
Oh, yeah. And it's gone in both directions, too, to be honest. Really weighing out the pros and cons of pivoting content. I think pivoting is a really big thing that people come into the coaching program for, too, because it's really challenging and it's really frustrating. And even just having someone there to motivate you and keep you going, you know, it's all right. It's going to be okay. It's going to work out, is a great thing. But this is definitely something we would talk about and look at, you know, past content. What were you doing in Florida? How can we come up with ideas that are going to kind of bridge that gap to Washington so that your audience still has that familiarity, but we're still offering that new location. So it's not just, new activities or new food, new travel in a new state. So it feels like a totally different channel, because we don't want that unless you want to start a totally different channel. So definitely a lot of just conversations and understanding, what the goal of the creator is and what the goal of their audience is watching.
I mean, certainly try some stuff before shuttering the old channel if you haven't already. Just give it a test for sure.
This rarely happens, but Jen just earned her second knowledge bomb answer. Like, just incredible.
Okay.
Incredible.
Here we go.
So there's no more celebration shout-outs. Nobody else posted their certificates for our celebrations after the first slot. So try and remember to do that next time, because we'd love to shout out people achieving stuff on YouTube via vidIQ's certificates. So instead, we'll pick another channel, and we can pick a non-gaming channel this time from the 563 submissions.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Channel 60 is the one. And so it is another sink or swim moment for you, Jen. So we're just going to throw this channel to you. And this is like first impressions. What do you think the channel's about? Is it clear to understand? Like, what's the vibe as you look at it for like 10, 20 seconds? This is LegendBlader Ronan.
Like, what is that? What is that thumbnail of? What is that? I don't know if it's because it's small, but this, I mean, yeah, pretty much. It's the perfect sound effect, honestly. The repetition of that thumbnail is definitely interesting choice. I think that spending some attention there and switching it up so that I really have a clear understanding as the, why I want to watch that video. I can see it's some type of championship something, but I think we could still switch that up. Not super clear to me, this channel, and it could be something I'm not familiar with, but I feel like even if it's something that I don't know, I should have a better understanding as to what it is that I don't know.
Right.
It's funny because it makes me realize like how long I've been auditing channels that I know what this is about.
Do you?
We've seen these Bearblade things. Like, I had no idea what Bearblades was until I'd seen like 4 or 5 channels do this over the 6 years we've been doing this. It's where you get a toy and you kind of spin it, like you use a string or whatever, like zip tie to spin it, and then they just battle each other in this arena, I guess. But as you say, unless you were a fan of this well, I was going to say that the thumbnails are so similar because none of them have any context other than this is a Beyblade contest. You wouldn't know whether you'd seen this video. Well, you'd look at this thumbnail and think, have I seen this video before? I don't know, because they're so similar.
Yeah. There's a collectible element to these, and I get that you were covering like a championship, and that's why there's all these different rounds and stuff. But I still think a more compelling thumbnail would have been to hold up maybe the 2 competitors, like their Beyblades, and make that the thumbnail, so that we could at least see it's a versus style video. Because this is a good shot for the video, but it's not a good shot for the thumbnail. And you tried it over and over again, it didn't quite work. So that's one thing. And I wonder if there's other stuff you can do besides covering these, I'm imagining, very rare championship events. Can you talk about, other elements of the hobby so you can make more content instead of just waiting for the next event to come around?
I think they were doing that previously.
Okay. 2 months ago. Okay, they're pretty recent then. I challenged my viewers.
I wonder if all of them were posted on the same day, or like, probably one every day.
I would look at other channels covering Beyblades and just see what they're doing,
I have so many questions.
Yeah. Take advice from their thumbnails, their titles, their topics.
Like, is there any type of preparation for this championship? Like, do you have to make your own? Do you have to like mod them at all? Like,
I guess you could probably modify them. I have to imagine there's some level of skill if they're going to play on a competitive level, because it just looks like luck to someone like me who's never actually used these.
Yeah.
But we saw a lot of examples there when you pulled up in search. It looks like a small but solid niche. Like there's a fan base for this for sure.
I think that's one crazy thing that I've learned seeing so many different channels is that there's room for absolutely everyone on this platform. like just the wildest things. I love that. I love it so much. Like, this is a whole new space, and I'm like super into it.
You did mention, Jen, like you have so many questions, and the most popular ones are kind of starting to answer such questions like, oh, you can use a different hand to launch the Beyblade into the arena, or, you know, what is the best hero Beyblade to use? And when these questions are pitched, I guess in a search-based style, these videos are performing the best. Whereas, you know, the most recent ones are a bit, I'm not going to give you any context here. I'm just going to throw you into this match between two people and hope you understand what's going on. Hang on, I need that one. These ones where I guess you really have to understand and have an appreciation for the competitive edge of this niche to be interested in these videos.
Yeah.
How old were those videos that you pulled up before, those popular ones?
Yeah, not too old, like within 12 months.
Okay. So maybe there is just a way to play off a little bit more discoverable information like this. How can you think about, you know, the questions your audience would have and make videos that are going to answer that or help them out?
It's definitely, they could definitely remake this one. The most intense battles of 2024 so far might be one. It feels like there's opportunities for gateway content, like introducing a brand new, like let's say Jen all of a sudden is going to become, she wants to become a Beyblade champion within 2 years.
Oh,
Where does she start? And this channel could be the entry point for that information. I love it when I hear silence from everyone. That just means Rob, go pick another channel, doesn't it? Thanks, Dan. Yeah,
I love it. That was literally something that I've never heard of in my life.
Stick around. We'll find it. I mean, let me show you. Like, we had an incredible one earlier on. Is it still there? Oh, it's gone.
The traffic light channel.
We had a traffic light channel, and we've never come across something so ordinary, but yet so niche. Anyway, that's a story for after the live stream. So what I need to do is pick a gaming channel now. That's 400. Yeah. Okay. So we have channel 166 to pick. Whoops. And they are TotingGames or TotingGames. I'm going to say Toting because it doesn't have 2 T's. A couple of thousand subscribers for you here, Dan. Let's hope it's not another Pokemon channel. And I'm seeing flight simulator aircraft style games.
Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of similarity between some of these. Okay.
There's a Star Citizen one there. That's kind of a weird outlier.
Great topic, Star Citizen, because okay, so thinking about Star Citizen, watch this before you buy. Okay, fantastic. I like that because Star Citizen has been around for 10 years in this weird space of like collecting people's money, but not really releasing a full game. And it's been like this early access thing forever. And the people who've bought in are very invested, but the people like me who are skeptical about it ever coming out are like, if it does finally release, is it worth it? And I think they just had finally like a big update in that regard. So you doing a video 2 weeks ago, is it worth getting into, is great. But it was a mismatch from these videos that Rob's circling. Is it worth playing in 2024? You know, you basically just outline the same thing in the title and thumbnail.
Well, sorry, Dan. What I'm highlighting these because these were all about Star Citizen, and they all had a couple of thousand subscribers, views, and then other games like just pancake flatline views.
Yes, but I'm looking at the one at top. So there's a Star Citizen video up top that has 50 views.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I wasn't being specific. I am picking on that one in particular because it was a mismatch. Whereas like the latest one was thinking about Star Citizen, watch this before you buy. Very clear understanding. Whereas the thumbnail of that video says like, what, can you scroll up a little bit? Yeah, crazy new design. But the title says, is it worth getting into? I would have matched it better with like the value of the game. Like, how much money does it take to get into it? That's my first question, because all I know is they've been charging oodles of dollars for ships that you can buy, and that's it. That's all I know about it. So if you just put like a price on there and say, is it worth it? That would be a more succinct kind of video. And you did that with the other videos. Is it, watch this before you buy. And that video got a lot of views. You were like, okay, cool. I'm thinking about getting into this. And you go to cover it again and it didn't quite hit. So that's one thing. Maybe you can be the Star Citizen person. I think that's what Rob's getting at.
Yep. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. In fact, I don't know. I would probably stick to that for a little while.
All the most popular videos are Star Citizen, that game. Top 7 videos are all about that one game.
There are similar games, and you can eventually branch to those, but I think you should build up some experience, because we could also go probably on at length for hours about the thumbnails and the improvements needed for those as well, which, not to be brutal, but they are very busy.
Well, I was going to ask that before, Jen, this live stream goes in a very, very, very different direction. Your general sort of viewpoint on thumbnails, like taking this as a canvas of, where somebody's currently at with their thumbnails, how would you advise?
To practice some, I would say, basic art principles and composition. That's where I like to start a lot of creators, just understanding the depth, the rule of thirds, where your eye actually goes in an image, how to simplify that and really direct them to a focal point. Because we're missing it a little bit. And then the one thing that stands out to me is like this double thumbnail with the part 1, part 2. And the part 1 did really well. And I feel like they kind of missed the opportunity for part 2 to do a little bit better if they didn't have the same title and same thumbnail.
Okay.
Because like you said before, Rob, someone probably thought they watched this video already.
Yeah.
Fair points.
True.
Jen, you've earned yourself a hat trick. Oh, why is my sound effect not working?
I guess not.
Working?
I don't.
Oh, well. I tell you why that's happened. And Jen, you've been royally set up here.
What a smooth aftertaste that is. Absolutely trash. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all legal ages, welcome back to the vidIQ live stream, or as I call it, Savage IQ. It's been a minute. I've been out in the Caribbean, or Caribbean as people like me call it, just soaking my toes in the sea of all the tears of all my haters. I like to bring everyone back on and just kind of talk to them a little bit. Oh, what do we have here? Wait a minute. Is that a woman I see?
Dr. Savage.
What happened? Did vidIQ get sued? Is this part of the settlement? They had to bring in a woman because all this time they ain't having no women on. Did you sue them successfully?
I signed an NDA about that. So
well, that makes all the sense in the world. I gotta tell you right now, this is the greatest moment in vidIQ history. You have the most savage guy who's ever been on the live streams, along with the most intelligent and incredible woman who's ever been on the vidIQ live streams. Now, just can you
savage compliment?
Can you answer a question because we've all been wondering this. Now that you've been here on this stream for a little while, on a scale from 1 to Miami, how bad is Dan? Just tell me. Be real honest with me. Let me know. Dan and Rob, come on back. We want to see what you have to say about this because I like some answers.
Nah, I'm good.
Oh, I see how it is.
I just want to see what Jen's going to say.
I was going to say Dan's a 1 of 10 in my book.
Well, you lying now. Look, let's do one of these.
Horrible thing to say to somebody.
Let's do it. Let's pick a channel. Hey, Dan, can you run one of them? What are them? The hashtag things?
What the mean thing to say? Sorry, I'm a little distracted. You'll
be all right.
Rob will pull up the
YouTube 1
hashtag.
of 10, Dan. A YouTube 1 of 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
That you just
Like
let
that.
everybody sit there thinking like, you know what?
Whoa.
Jen's right. He is a 1 out of 10. I hate
She
that
really
guy.
doesn't like Dan.
Yeah.
Let's do a tag team Savage / Jen audit, and we'll do it with the hashtag Savage Jen. Let's see if we can get her over there. So if you say hashtag Savage Jen, we're going to take a look at your channel. I'm going to do a couple of these. And go ahead and hit go. Let's see what happens. Let's see how many people
Sound so edgy.
Well, we're gonna see what happens here in a minute. This could fall apart very fast. We're gonna find out. We're not real sure.
Do I have to be savage for this?
You can do whatever the hell you want to. They ain't gonna do nothing to you. You got a commitment from the law. They have to let you on. All right, let's see. Okay, all the people started saying, how many people now? I can't see no more. My eyes have gone bad. And as soon as we get to 100, go ahead and let's let it fly. All right, Dan, hit him up. If it's 100, I can't read it, so I don't know. How many people are putting in there? All right, looks like a lot of people are putting Savage Jen in there. I think we're good. And the lucky or unlucky person is, this is going to be fun.
Here we go.
Odyssey. Old Man Gibb, the Santa Claus of the live stream.
I've got to come back on for this.
Old Man Gibb, the Santa Claus of the live stream. This man has single-handedly kept vidIQ profitable for the past 6 months.
True.
By live stream, by putting out these super chats and giving away memberships.
There we go.
Couldn't happen to a nicer person.
Gameplay.
I never knew what Old Man Gibb does. What is he? He does look like Santa Claus. What is he doing? Cryptocurrency? I can't tell. Jen, go ahead and hit him with one.
Wait, I love that. Wait, can we go back up to his banner? That was such a spot-on banner. Immediately setting inspiration through respect, faith, and gameplay. I feel like I know you, Old Man Gibb. I love that. What we got going on down here?
I know him because he's
video
filled up my coffers with lots of money. But go ahead, keep talking.
This last video did well. Unveiling.
I bet he didn't think he was gonna get picked either. Isn't that something?
Okay. I like the treasure chest in the back. That's nice. Unveiling. I mean, there's intrigue there. I like that.
Oh,
I think that one has the most intrigue out of the most recent uploads, really. Oh, and then I think that I like these newer thumbnails better. I think when we scroll down, we're looking a little dark.
Agreed.
Nothing really stands out when you're scrolling kind of in that section.
You know what I noticed in this? You know what I found with his superpower? You know, you guys always talk about the YouTube superpower, where you do something really good and you're like, that's what you should do more of. I figured it out. Old Man Gibb, your superpower is giving away memberships. Go ahead and make it rain in live stream. We love you so much. That money goes part into our pockets and part into YouTube's pocket. We got to figure out a way to just bypass YouTube and just have you direct know exactly how we're going to figure that. We're going to figure that out, though. Don't worry about it. Go on. Keep telling them what to do.
I like the text that's been going on the thumbnails recently. We have surprising, disappointed, legendary. I think we have some good words. Maybe a little bit more context could be helpful. And I don't know how you guys read this small. I'm like going to be like two
none of
from
us
my
read
computer soon.
We make it up. We have the stuff we can't read. What are you talking about? Dan's illegitimate, so you know he can't read nothing.
Let's see what else we got. Let's get this sorted.
Jen trying real hard too. I love that.
I'm like gonna be so close to my computer, like everyone's gonna be watching. It's just gonna be my face like that. I'm like, oh,
I think I saw up your nose a minute ago. I saw what you were thinking.
I mean, I feel like the channel's looking good so far. I mean,
listen, no person could be in as many live streams as Old Man Gibb was and not know what the hell's going on. This is a YouTuber you should pay attention to because he might buy you something. I don't know. I mean, really, let's just be nice to him. Like, can we just be nice to the guy? I mean, listen, I can't be savage to him. He paid off my car. What do you want me to say? All right, let's do one more. Let's do one more Savage and Jen because we got unlucky with that. We had to be nice.
I couldn't be nice this time. There. I feel like his last few videos, he's trying something new and he's like crushing it.
Of course he is. All right, who we got next? Last one for the day. Zalrinel. That's great. That's a great name. That's definitely not your government name. Because ain't no one going to give. Can you imagine giving a newborn that name and be like, learn how to spell it? You better figure it out. And all your friends be like, remember that kid Z? They call you Z. Because they ain't going to remember that either. No, can you imagine trying to write an email to Zell? That's not happening. Z@gmail.com is what I'm emailing. Go ahead.
Okay. Don't think we're in English. No.
I mean, we rarely are. Let's be honest. Have you been to this channel before?
Wait, I think these thumbnails are pretty good. They're
Stunning,
so colorful, really defined focal point. I think these thumbnails are really, really good.
I think Old Man Gibb bought them for him.
How do they get
Stop
60,000
it.
subscribers?
So yeah, that was the question I wanted to know. So with 6,000 subscribers, tens of thousands, have they had some shorts that have gone super viral? No, so they must have deleted some previous content.
Pretty popular.
That old man
2 million
Gibb.
views. 2 million views.
He's out there giving subscribers to people because he loves everybody.
We had a lot of outliers. They were on a really good run like 9 to 6 months ago.
I
but
feel like that can be typical. We can have our high highs.
Since then, they've kind of dropped down into the hundreds.
Where did it fall off? Where's that traffic?
Yeah, let's.
Is there a
find
break
out.
between content or something, or?
You're asking all the right questions, Jen. We asked the same.
I feel like before it was a lot of Minecraft stuff, and now the topics have kind of shifted quite a bit.
Yeah.
The silence is
Minecraft.
deafening. Okay,
Very
look.
sporadic views. Very, very sporadic views.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
Well, here's the thing about that. I mean, we haven't looked at any videos. They're probably all terrible. So, of course, they're going to be sporadic. Probably got lucky once, twice. That's all right. It's a good thing that every once in a while a video works out, because this is definitely not for you. Look, can we just talk about one last thing before we get out of here and go live lives that are at least somewhat reasonable?
Yeah.
Jen was in here for a little bit. Let's get in the chat. If y'all want to see Jen come back, put a 1 in the chat. And, let's just see what happens. Just take a vote. Was she good enough? Did she pass the muster? Why do they call it that anyway? What is muster? Isn't it mustard?
Is that a digit 1 or one spelled out, Savage?
Whatever. These people can't spell, so just give them a digit 1. Why isn't it past the mustard? I can't stand mustard, by the way. What is muster? Anyone know what a mustard?
Oh, hi, Dave. I saw Dave pop in.
Dave.
Yeah, we want to see ones and twos. That's correct. The ones and the twos.
We on the one. Look, got a lot of ones. All right, cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right, look, settle down. We're gonna charge for her though. I'm sure that's not gonna be illegal in any way. But every time Jen comes on, we're gonna need at least one super chat.
Did I pass the test, guys?
Jen, you were exemplary. You would have had 4 knowledge bomb sound effects, but my soundboard broke halfway through. So you are more than welcome. Let me just give the floor to you for 30 seconds to tell us, what is your day job and why should a creator consider getting a YouTube coach?
A creator should definitely consider getting a coach, because all the things that we're talking about, you work with someone one-on-one for your channel. So this audit, you get a full audit. You have someone that understands what you're trying to do and can help you work in the direction of whatever goal that is. But just having someone be able to watch through your content and really understand what you're doing and provide, feedback for all this information we give out on a really, really personal level, that's going to make sense for what you're doing. That can be the hardest thing sometimes, is that information to application process.
What a fantastic answer. And of course, the coaching is available now. We do have spaces. What is the link these days? It's www.vidiq.com/coaching,
I think.
Coaching, yeah.
Coaching, as simple as that. Dan, I'm going to give you the floor for 15 seconds.
What?
Use it however you want.
No, I don't know. Go. Leave.
All right.
Live stream's over.
Use Dan.
Yeah.
And then we give Savage the floor for however long he wants. In the meantime, everybody take care. We'll see you next week.
So here's the thing about Dan. Good googly goo. The last thing you want to do is go to that dude's house and try to have dinner with him. He is awkward as hell. Doesn't matter if you're out and about or if you're at his house. He is awkward. He just don't like people.
Yep.
He don't like any of you. He's just a real curmudgeon. You ever heard that word before? Curmudgeon. It's
For the official vidIQ record, we all love Dan. Let us know in the comments how much you love him. Bye, everyone. Cheerio. I'm waving.